Alrighty, what's up everybody? BallietBran here. So today's video, what I'm going to be talking about are things that I wanted to cover on a live stream, but we're actually not going to be doing that today. We're probably going to be doing it on Tuesday. So without further ado, we'll just cover some information that I wanted to go over on today's live stream. So we're going to go over the hex price, which is looking really good right now, about half a penny, and we're going to dive into it actually. We're going to go on the screen share and we're going to provide a little bit of liquidity for Mooniswap. And if anyone watched the recent Discourse Syndicate with Firebun and RG3, Firebun was saying that 1inch and Mooniswap, they might be doing some sort of like token airdrop, almost similar to the way that Uniswap did Uni. So that's kind of what I gathered from one of their live streams. And I'm just going to show you how to provide liquidity if that's something you want to learn. So we'll actually cover that first. So let me go to the screen share. Okie dokie. And right now we're just going to go to application window. And this is just Google Chrome, but we're going to go over here to Mooniswap. All right, now, cool. We'll keep myself on the screen. So we're going to go to Uniswap, right? And it's similar to, sorry, I said Uniswap, but I meant Mooniswap. Mooniswap is similar to Uniswap. So just connect your wallet right here. And I've got mine right here. And you can see there's the swap or there's the pool. And we're going to click on pool because we're providing liquidity. All right, add liquidity. Okie doke. So when you're adding liquidity, you have to do it 50-50. So Ethereum and the other one is the USDC pair. Because from what I believe Brennan or Shadowy Hex Brilliance was saying is that if you were to supply the Hex USDC or the Hex Ethereum pair, that you might not actually qualify for the airdrop. So we've got the Ethereum and the USDC, and we have to approve. Now, I'm not sure if you're actually going to see the MetaMask notification that I have popped up right now, but pretty much you're going to just run a transaction, one to allow it, and then the other one to actually provide the liquidity. So we're just confirming the first one right now. Okay, perfect. So that's being approved right now. And in the meantime, we can see this is just go.hex.com. Now, something that is added is this, the daily T-share price in US dollars. So we're going to cover that in just a couple minutes. So we're going to come back here. It says that it's confirmed. Okay, now we just got to hit approve and then confirm. And it should work after I submit this transaction. And the reason I know that is because I've done it before, and the second time it uses a little bit more gas, so I know that it's actually running a Ethereum transaction. So we're going to do the average speed. Okay, so while that's loading and while that's doing its thing, another thing that's happened since my last live stream is the hex.com website has had some pretty big changes. And Richard has mentioned that he wanted the website to have these changes, like a testimonials, a content page as well, where you can find all the live streamers. And then he said he wants it to be, submitted to Coinbase. He doesn't know who's going to do the submitting of the actual application, but we want to get Hex on Coinbase, and that would just make for a smooth US dollar to Hex transition. So we can see the transaction submitted. And then we're just going to scroll down right here. And I guess that's the Ethereum. So yeah, this is the Ethereum and the USDC liquidity that we just added to Mooniswap. So now that we've covered that, we're going to just exit out of there. So we've got the graphx.rocks website. This will tell us the share rate. So we can see that the share rate is 1.63231. And that share rate is constantly going up. And the current APY is 37.83%. And if we go over to my staking wallet right here, I've supplied it just a little bit more. And I've actually done some more stakes. So we can see, that's interesting. I didn't notice this before, but the amount of interest that I've earned so far is 369, which is pretty cool. So you can see the principal, you can see the T-shares, and then you can see the interest. And then that's what it is in total. So this is a really cool thing in Hex. I love that the changes have been made right here. You can see the APY. So you can see, what was yesterday's APY? Okay, 38%. And then you can see, what today's APY was and things like that. So we've got some liquid Hex there. I don't think I need to do a stake right now because this was mainly just for the Mooniswap liquidity. But then we can just come back here. So this is the T-share. Like I was saying, it's like the T-share market cap, basically. And then if you scroll down, daily Hex payout per T-share. So today was day 377, and the payout per T-share was 5.76. So with the, let's see here, with the 12.239 T-shares that I have in this wallet, I would just multiply that by the 5.76 to see how many Hex I was getting in interest for that day, which is really cool because it's a daily compounding and a daily interest that you're getting it. So we've covered the Mooniswap. I don't really think we need to cover much else except for one last thing. So we're going to switch screens and go back to the Brave tab, and we're going to show you a investment firm that has gotten into Hex. And Silver, the Antidote, he was the one that actually mentioned this most recently, I think just a couple days ago, made a video saying that 3 Arrows Capital got into Hex, and we're going to cover that right now. Okay, so this is the company right here. So 3 Arrows Capital, or sorry, 3arrowscap.com. So 3 Arrows Capital, they're like a big hedge fund, I believe. And you can see they don't just invest in Hex, but they've got a whole bunch of other things. And one thing that Silver the Antidote mentioned was he mentioned the big wallets that own Hex. They also own other projects as well, and Synthetics was one of them. And so he was speculating that maybe some of those wallets that I've seen and that he's seen before too, maybe those wallets were owned by 3 Arrows Capital. So it's just kind of cool to see, because I'm going to show you one other thing real quick here too. 3 Arrows Capital, they also got in with Grayscale. They own 6% of Grayscale's fund. So we're just going to switch the screens real quick here. And 1 second here. Thank you for everyone's patience right here. So 3 Arrows Capital, check this out. They buy 6% of Grayscale's $3.5 billion Bitcoin fund. And the reason this is cool is because not only is Hex, worldwide, is it global, we've got people that are well off, we've got people that are middle class, and, we've got people of all sorts in Hex. And it's really cool that not only is it people, but now it's entities. So I think it's just the next step for Hex's involvement. So we're gonna stop the screen share there. So guys, that's pretty much it. Is Hex is constantly evolving, and the cool thing about it is, sure, there's no future promises of expectation of work and things like that, but because the actual product itself is audited from the start, from the launch, it is, like I said, it's complete. It's the most honest product. It's not a project, but it's a product. It's got 100% uptime. It's more secure than Bitcoin. With things like this as a value proposition when it comes to hedge funds, I think that the Three Arrows Capital, I think that's just a start. And Hex is really, really cool. It's almost like a black cube or like a black hole for financial capital. And if we're already seeing hedge fund money getting in, this can be very comparable to like the actual hedge fund people. It might be the same people that had the one, it was nearly 1 billion hex that they staked for 15 years. That might be those hedge funds getting in. But I can tell you what, that this is the right train to be on. This is the winning team, you know. Richard jokes about like these other coins and altcoins being like cockroach racing. But if we're in the cockroach race analogy, then we picked the right freaking cockroach. So, not to say that Hex is a cockroach, but more like a jockey. You know, we picked that right jockey, and it's like Amazon. I mean, Richard's given a lot of analogies that Hex is similar to buying Bitcoin in 2010, which was at $1. He mentioned that Hex is almost like analogous to Amazon, where Amazon, they are using the whole world's resources. They're using the actual shipping system and the carrier system as a backbone, and they're not the ones that actually purchase that infrastructure. But because their product has that demand, then they get the scalability for free because that service that they're requiring has the demand of the other things. So Hex is very similar to that. In regards to Hex is a hybrid. It's a proof of work and proof of stake coin. So it uses proof of work for the actual transactions, but it's a proof of stake coin in that the actual rewards, they are being paid out to the people that are staking. And that happens on a delayed basis because everyone's stake varies in different amounts of time. So it's really cool, the game theory and the concepts that Richard has designed into Hex, and it's really cool. It's not something that I've ever thought I would endorse so heavily, but I tell you what, when I first started seeing Hexologist doing his live streams daily, and then Discourse Syndicate, and then I finally worked up after like a couple of weeks enough bravery to join the syndicate live and started doing my own streams. It's really spiraled into something that's organic and that is grassroots and that is authentic, and that's something that really sets us apart from other cryptocurrency communities and other institutions and financial competitors. So Hex is really set to win, and I appreciate everyone being in this journey with me as well. So we're not in this alone. Us Hexicans are part of the we're part of the Hexican Space Force. So we're all in this together, and the stakes that we have, it incentivizes us to be more healthy, and it's cool that the Hex community, we don't just unify around Hex and around like Richard Hart being creative for doing Hex, but we unify around each other and our other things that we're good at. So people like Maddie Allin that do like the psychology and the science studies and things like that. It's really cool that people like him and Joe Hexotic and Hexotic Joe can do their own live stream. That's like a therapy thing. And we got the Discourse Syndicate, RG3, and Dollar Cost doing their thing. Those guys are going to be doing a like they're going to be doing like an online course, and they're going to be teaching you how to. They're going to be teaching the people that join the course how to like set up a MetaMask, how to, I think, buy Ethereum, kind of like the basics, and how to get into Hex and stake it. And so it's cool that everyone in the Hex community has their own value that they bring to the table. And today, one of the reasons I'm not doing a live stream is because maybe 20 minutes before I was going to do mine, at 1:40, I saw Richard going live with Nerd Girl. And so I said, all right, well, I'm not going to do my live stream at 2 o'clock in 20 minutes because then I'll be competing with Richard. And I want to follow Richard in real time too. So long story short, I'm happy everything worked out the way it did. I'm actually listening to Crypto Coffee, his live stream right now, and so we're constantly streaming as Hexicans. We've got now almost like an abundance and like a content overload of Hexican streaming on a daily basis. So it's really cool where we're going. Like I said, we're all strong together. We're building each other up, lifting each other up, and we're defending against the not only the naysayers, but we're defending against we're defending Hex against those people that try to slander the people like Peter McCormick when the big payday happened. I personally didn't think this was going to happen, but in hindsight, it makes sense that the big payday, the people that were short term, they sold and they panic sold and they created the wick down. So when you had people like Peter McCormick take the Hex Uniswap version 2 photo, and that it doesn't have the rest of the price history and the price action that the version 1 does, that goes all the way back to when Hex launched in December. And so when you have people that are being deceptive like that, the Hexican, see that? The Hex Force, the Hexican Force needs to, rally together. And if anyone has any differences, whatever, we all need to stand strong and unify around truth and around content creators that are providing value and calling the bad ones out. Because at the end of the day, if this is competition and we want to take Peter McCormick, we want to take his followers, we want to take his viewers, and we want to steal those eyeballs, and we want to get that attention. Because if we can give competition to those that are the influencers in today's terms and nowadays, then we can maybe one day overtake those influencers in competition, and we can become the new influencers. And the reason I think that's important is because if a product like Hex is going to come out and be so revolutionary, there needs to be a pack, a wolf pack, be behind it. And Richard is the he's the one that founded Hex, and he is the creator, and he's the one that got the team and everything to make Hex what it is today. But it's not just him, it's the community that Hex deserves as well, that is involved. So really cool to be a part of it. And yeah, Hex is doing really, really good. The last thing I'll just show you guys real quick is we're going to look at just the chart real quick here. So this is just a version 2, and this is on an hourly basis, but we can see that we're in an uptrend. So this is the start of the uptrend right here. And if we just scroll out and kind of see the previous price action, we can just see how well Hex is doing compared to November and compared to late November, early December area. So Hex is doing good. We're at about half a penny right now. And if you stake, then you are earning interest trustlessly. So it really doesn't get much better than that, guys and gals. When you earn interest trustlessly and you don't have any middlemen, you're not giving your private keys to a centralized exchange like these examples that exist out there. And I see a lot of people in Richard Hart's live streams in the comment section. I see a lot of them asking like, "Oh, well, when will Hex be on with this lending platform, or when will you be able to sell a stake and things like this?" And those kind of questions, in my opinion, kind of defeat the purpose of why Hex was designed and why it's meant to incentivize you to lock it up and to earn the Hex trustlessly as you do your stake. So that's pretty much it. Actually, one last thing. So the hex.com website, it has had some changes. And I mentioned this previously in the stream that Richard wants Hex to be on something like Coinbase, and in the future it could be on legacy financial, like it could be on like traditional 401ks and things like that. But for the time being, we want it to get eventually submitted to Coinbase. And Richard mentioned some changes that he was making to the website. So we're sharing the screen. And let me just confirm. Whoops. Okay, let me get back to the screen share. And bear with me, guys, for just one more second, please. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we're sharing the screen now. All right, so hex.com, right? So he changed up the website just a little bit. We have the content and we've got the testimonials. So we'll start with the testimonials first. All right, so we got David Feeder. And to be honest, David Feeder is kind of like the guy that kicked off the Hex testimonials. And I think it's really cool that Richard implemented this and he integrated this testimonial section into the website, because it really just goes to show you like the market and the people that are behind the product and that are part of the community and that are putting their faces out there. So when you see this front and center, David Feeder with his. The next one is Crypty Girl. She recently was on a Discourse Syndicate stream, and Ski Cat gave her over $10,500 worth of packs. I think it was like 2.5 million or something. But so hers is second, and then mine is third, which is cool. I made that at work when I was at a break. So long story short, we got the testimonial section, and then we also got the content section as well. Now this just shows you like who's making content. So we got DLive and we got YouTube. Hexologist, Discourse Syndicate. Mine is on here as well, just the YouTube. I'm sure eventually the rest of these will be updated, maybe with their DLives, or maybe it won't. But the long story short is it's really cool to see the improvements and the upgrades being made on the website. Even though there are no expectations and things like this, there are sometimes changes that are made, and Richard mentioned those. He mentions those after they've been done. So it's really cool what's going on. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for everyone that's watching this video. And I'm thinking on Tuesday, I'll probably do a live stream. I just didn't want to interfere and compete with some other Hexican that was doing a live stream. And so since Richard, he had the live stream 20 minutes ahead of mine, And then we had, Hexologist, and now we've got Crypto Coffee. I would like to not compete with someone else that's a Hexican if I can't help it. So I figured I'd delay the stream and just make this little video here. So, like I said, I'll try and see you guys on Tuesday for a live stream, as long as no one else is in that spot. And maybe that's something we could get like going in the future, where we're on the big payday. Hexologist had a like Excel sheet. Maybe we can do something like that for like content creators, because we've got Hexologist that has his schedule, and I'm doing my schedule for the most part at 2 o'clock, as long as there's no people streaming ahead of me. It'd be kind of cool to sometime in the future maybe get together with some of the other Hexican streamers and kind of just get like a public schedule that we can advertise and that we can market, so people know like how to fill up their schedules and how to better make use of their time while they're watching Hexican content. So that's all I want to say. Thanks for everyone, and I'll see you on the next live stream.